So I just purchased this 2006 Honda fourtrax 400 AT Trail Edition, Canadian Trail Edition. Let's see what's the maple leaf there stands for. There we go. So, the previous owner, I think, for the most part, took pretty good care of this machine. They were, well, I mean, the overall condition is very good, but I'm not sure what happened. I suspect they may have let someone use it who really didn't give a damn. And the reason I say that, I'll show you what to look for here. If you're going to buy a used Honda, one of the first things you want to look at is underneath here. You can see this comes off, and it's a clear rubber plug, really is what it is. There's a tube that hangs down, drain tube. It's directly under the airbox. And if the airbox ever gets saturated with water or mud, this is the first place it's going to show up. Now, the idea is that if you swamp the bike, which hopefully you don't, because they're not submarines, let's face it. But you'd wonder, like, there's tons of videos of guys throwing $10,000 into a mud hole. Like, that's what it looks like to me. But anyway, like, I would not do that. Like, if you really want to jump in the mud hole, leave the bike out and just jump in. Just get it over with. Go for a swim. Pretend you're Scrooge McDuck and you're swimming in money or something. But anyway, I would not do that to a quad. And I was hoping to have bought a quad that didn't happen to, but there was some indicators, like somebody totally buried this machine in mud, and then they just high pressure hosed it to knock the chunks off, but they never cleaned it. And so this thing, it's almost like cement. It has like a clay based mud that is just encrusted on everything. And I don't know if the camera will show it, but it has this like yellowish hue. This is just a plastic cover, and I'm going to take that off. I'm going to do that on camera so you can see, but I have low expectations. I suspect I'm going to find gobs of mud caked under there, but I'm going to try and clean this up so that it's clean metal again, and then I'll spray a protectant on there, like WD-40 or who knows, one of these fancy modern coatings that I've got some stuff called Plexus that actually you can spray right on aluminum, and it makes it look like new. It just gleams like chrome almost. Like, it's crazy how nice it makes chrome look, and it makes it easier to clean next time too. But so when I first pulled this off, and I should have done this before I purchased it, and if I would have seen this, I would not have bought this bike, or I would have knocked $1,000 off the asking price easily. But I did inspect the boots. I checked the oil. The oil's up and fresh, which is good. And when I got it home, I checked the diffs. Brand new fluid in the diffs. And I thought, okay, that's unusual. Like, the only reason someone would do that is if it had been completely swamped. And so then I thought, shit, why didn't I think of that before? And this drain plug, when I pulled it off the other day, it was full right to the top, level with the top, with dried mud, hard mud. I had to break it up to get it out of there, and you can see there's still a little bit of debris in the bottom. Like, I tried to do a good job with a Q-tip even, but anyway, I was not happy to see that. That's a sign of abuse, in my opinion. Like, I would not recommend buying a bike that has had that done to it. Any bike that's been submarined is, I mean, Hondas are good. They're engineered very well. They are probably one of the most reliable machines you can get for the money, I believe. But, that's just a good way to take the reliability out. You get that mud through all the wiring connections, and that's what happened, unfortunately, to this machine. So, but anyway, the boots all checked out. They were good. Anyways, what we're going to find out now, right now, this is something I do like. The guy who actually I bought it from is not the owner. He was selling it for his brother and sister-in-law. It was actually his sister-in-law's bike. And the reason I like this bike is it's fully auto. You can put it on automatic and there's no gears. It's just gas and brake. And for novice riders, that's impossible to beat. Like, it's just so simple. You can't screw it up. And when you switch it to electronic shift and use those buttons to change the gears, it actually feels like it has gears. It feels like mine has a foot shift, and it feels exactly like that. But these are hydrostatic transmissions. There is no gears. It's an illusion of gears. But it does seem to put you in like a controlled power range for whatever speed you're going, which can be useful. Depends what you're doing. It's nice to have the option. But like say for my grandkids, I can't think of a better platform to start riding on. And so I just dug out the owner's manual, as you can see. And I found this, and I was looking for this. Oil indicator light reset. Hold down the larger two display buttons simultaneously with key on. Well, that saved me having to page through the book, and I was very happy to see that they made that easy to find, because I figured I was going to have to study the manual. And anyways, so today's job, very clearly, you can see there's a protective skid plate under that diff. I'm going to unbolt that. I'm going to clean that diff. I already did kind of scrub on it with soap and water and a Scotch-Brite pad. But I'm going to do the same thing to the backing plate for the brakes. I'm going to do the entire engine, and I'm going to do the front diff too. That's my plan. But today's big plan is take off that cover. And the wind is trying to mess with me here. Murphy's Law, Murphy's trying to help. He's always trying to help. Such a helpful guy. Alright, well, that looks like the right size. You know what? It might actually be metric. These are SAE. Oh, come on. Damn thing, it's tight. Oh, how does this work? Did I just break that? No. Yeah, see, look down there. So I'm going to take that cover off. Oh, there's another bolt here. There's another bolt here. I didn't see those. Alright, I'm going to have to get some more tools to do this properly. But I am going to do this properly. So I need my 1/4-inch drive. So I'm not going to do that, but anyway, just for, I guess, to be thorough, I'm going to show this again. On a 06 Honda 400 AT Trail Edition. There you go again. There it is again. Oil indicator light reset. Hold down the larger two display buttons simultaneously with key on. And the reason I'm showing this is when you turn the key on, you get the change oil indicator. So obviously when they changed the fluids on this bike, they did not do that. Which is interesting because this, they obviously knew how to do this. Alright, well, that's, I guess, it for this video. If you're buying a new quad, or excuse me, a new to you, but a used, check this first. And if they didn't take, like the air box inside, there's a brand new air filter in there. It's clean. Somebody, did a good job of cleaning it. Looks like it never had mud in it, but this is the telltale right here. If they didn't take the time to clean that and empty the crap out of it, that tells you someone has used that machine as a submarine. And as much fun as some people try to make that sound and look like, for a guy who wants to buy a quad that has not been abused, it's just not good news. That's all there is to it. So check that first. That fucker should be spotless. There should be no water in it. And just if machine is packed with dried mud like it was when I first pulled it off, walk away. Walk away. That's your first response. Say nope. Just they can clean it for the next guy. They can scam the next guy. Whatever. But that in my book, that's a no-go. I would not have bought this bike, hands down. Would not. But the guy I was dealing with, he seemed like a straight shooter, and I thought, okay, well, someone took it in a mud hole. But when I asked him, has this thing been swamped? No, those people aren't like that. Well, maybe they're not, but maybe they lent it to somebody who really didn't give a damn. Anyways, that's what I recommend looking for. Check the boots, make sure there's no tears. Forward of that rear pumpkin on the solid axle rear end, there's a rubber boot up close which can easily get torn by a stick. Check that. There's 4 boots on the front end, rubber boots, neoprene, whatever the hell they are. They're pretty tough actually, but they have a limit. But anyway, these ones look pretty good. You can see there. None of them are torn. You can actually get in there with your fingers and feel them. And anyways, I didn't really spend a lot of time going over the front end on this thing because, I'm pretty sure these are the original tires that came with this thing. I'm pretty sure those Bridgestones are they could be replacements. I mean, it's got 3,200 kilometers, so they could be replacements, but they might not be too. It's hard to say. For the most part, I think this thing had a pretty easy life, other than somebody using it for a submarine. Anyway, I'm making this video way too long. I hope this video helps if you're hunting for a quad, a used one. But anyway, if you have indication the bike's been abused, offer to pay less or walk away. If it's been abused, it's just not as worth as much as a bike that's been cared for.